And whenever you're ready, very gently come back and open your eyes. So, last three sessions we spoke about, I think the first session was anchoring, second,
Anchoring.
yes,
Questioning.
that was the third one. Second one was deep listening, which was Manan.
Deep listening.
Third
Yeah.
was questioning. So, this is the fourth session, and I thought the topic should be learn, grow, and transform. So, usually when we go through a very difficult phase of life or a challenging situation, that's the time when we learn, grow, and transform. So, think of any challenging times that you have gone through and see if you've really learned, grown, or transformed from it. Usually, it's mostly that I have observed or what I've learned, it is that. And these are the challenging times. So, what can we do to learn, grow, and transform? And also, the minute we realize that can I learn, grow, or transform from this challenging situation, the whole perspective changes. So, if there is a challenging time, if I say, oh, why me? You become a victim. And the minute you tell yourself, oh, can I learn something from this? However difficult the situation could be, or however challenging the situation could be, the whole perspective changes, isn't it? So let's share about certain reflections on this learn, grow, and transform. How is it that you are learning, growing, and transforming? So the questions that I had in mind is, let me read it. What is really precious in my life, and how can I invest in it? So these COVID times have really taught us what is precious in my life and how can I invest in it. And the other question is, why is it important for me to be alive? Why is it important for me to live? And there are lots many other questions, but if you can just focus and somebody wants to share, I'm going to repeat the questions. What is really precious in my life and how can I invest in it? Why is it important for me to live? Because during these COVID times, all that we're thinking of, I should not die. Why is it important for me to live? And the second question, I mean, that was the first one, which is why, what is really precious in my life and how can I invest in it? During these COVID times, so many things have been taken away from us now. And we've realized this thing is really precious for me. So if this thing is really precious for me, how can I invest my time, money, energy in this? So anybody has anything to share about this? Because this is not about talking, this is about sharing.
I say,
Yes, Bimal?
yeah. So definitely, I went through a bypass in the month of January. All of a sudden, it was nothing planned, nothing there in my mind. Didn't even in my wildest dreams think that I will go through a bypass at this stage in my life. So after coming back, and I was in tremendous pain to another level of pain, and I was crying and sobbing, and definitely I became a victim of myself by saying that why me? Why I had to go through this pain? For what I had to go through this pain? And definitely with Gita's help and self-realization and self-talking and meditating and chanting Om and many more things, I finally came out of the victim mode and realized that it definitely has come to teach me something. This pain in my life has definitely come to teach me something. And definitely it has taught me something to live. That you are in this life, up till now, we have taken life very casually, very simply. Ye karna hai, we want to do it, we do something. We don't want to do it, we don't do something. Not very serious in life. Life goes on as usual. Nothing dynamic, nothing positive, nothing much to look forward for. Daily routine. Business, money, travel, eat, nothing else. So now this last 3 months, I've taken a back seat, not a back seat, but I've tried to reflect upon my thoughts, reflect upon my lifestyle, reflect upon why am I born in this world to do what? Because I didn't know life would be so painful at one point of time that you didn't ever realize or thought or think about the pain ever in your life. Yes, you go through the ups and downs of life many a times, but this time the pain really hit me hard. It taught me
So
something
what did
very,
the pain, what did the pain really teach you? If you could summarize in one sentence.
summarize in one sentence, to live for something which you are always passionate for, and to find the passion in what you want to do in life ahead for the next, how much ever you live, what
So
you want
what
to
is
do
this
next.
passion? What is this really thing? Why are you living? Or what is important? Why is it important for you to live? What is this one thing that you're passionate about?
I have come in this world not to sit around, party, or just roam around and be with myself. I've come to achieve something more. I'm still looking for my answers. I'm still looking for my questions. I'm in this journey to understand, not found all my answers, but definitely want to do something for the, maybe to plant more trees, because looking at the pollution and all those levels, and maybe start something definitely with Gita along with me, an institution somewhere with some like-minded people on serving the humanity and serving the nature along with it. So those are the basic thoughts which came up. And now it is the question of implementation and how to take it forward.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks for sharing. And it's good that you've learned from your
Yes, so
challenges.
it was with the help of Gita and my another guru who teaches me yoga and breathing and all, that it's very important to come out from the victim mode, that why me, into a positive mode. There's
Mm,
a lot in life to learn than to be just being a victim all the time.
mm. Thank you for that sharing, Vimal. Anybody else would like to share?
I think what I've realized post the pandemic is what's most precious is health. And by health, it is mental and physical. And I think last 1 year, touch wood, I have been able to concentrate on both. Uh, um, uh, Both mentally, I feel, I mean, I'm not there yet. It's a journey. But definitely, I think I'm making, taking small steps and reaching where I ought to reach. Physically also, I keep sharing with you that I started out just around when the pandemic happened,
Mm,
and I am taking steps and I'm working there. So I've realized that, and today also, what are we most scared of? We're most scared of falling sick, and even if it's not with COVID, even otherwise we feel, अरे बीमार पड़ गया तो hospital में जाएगा, doctor के पास जाएगा. These are super spreading zones. So you know that. So nobody really wants to fall sick, even if it's just a sardi khasi. And I think that's why health, mental and physical, both being most precious. I think that is the biggest learning for me in the last 13, 14 months.
yeah. So you've realized that the precious thing for you is health, and you need to invest in your health. Mm. Thanks, Nandan. Nina, would you like to share?
So I would like to say, Geeta, that every day we learn and we grow and we transform. It's not that it's going to stop. I mean, it's going to happen. I think we are here on this earth to learn life's lessons,
Yes.
and with your guidance, of course, I'm learning to be a bit positive. Definitely, you helped me come out of my anxiety and my depression. And Geeta, I think I've started appreciating the now, the moment, living in the present, not planning for the future, because it's so uncertain and insecure. So that's what I
The
have
biggest
to share.
lesson that COVID has taught us, right?
Yes, yes, yes. That's what I feel, that live in the now.
Yeah.
Yes, Geet, sometimes I again do get those panic attacks, which I used to get earlier. But then I use the affirmation which you had taught me: I am safe, you are safe, we are safe. And then I feel better. I do my Om chanting at times. I'm not regular, but baby steps, just as Nandan was sharing. So
Hmm.
that's my learning.
Geeta, I want to add on to what she was saying. She said, we learn each day. I mean, and that's how we've been. But in the pre-COVID times, we had so much of distractions. So while the intent may be to learn, but with all sorts of distractions, we used to kind of get swayed back. Abhi to kya hai, life is on a pause mode. You know,
Yes,
where do
yes,
you actually go and get yourself distracted? So I think there's a
yes.
lot of time that we've had, and I think I was talking to you earlier. Your seeds programs. I mean, that's
Hmm.
I look forward to those as my monthly doses. It's like you just pop in like a supplement, or those are used for the mental thing. So we've got time on hand, and I think with life coming on a pause, I think it's time we look at it from a different perspective, and really use that to work on ourselves.
Also,
Time to
yes.
introspect.
Yes, yes. Also, I feel with the second round of COVID that has come, I think COVID has some very, very deep lessons that we need to really learn. And one thing is what it has taught us, or what I have learned, is we are part of the whole. The way it's spreading and the way it's through contact or whatever, it's actually telling us we are part of the big whole. So, keeping that in mind, we all become contributors, not only to the pandemic, but also to stop the spread of pandemic. So can we pause, like how you are saying it's a pause, we are in a pause mode. So can we really pause and ask ourselves, how can I contribute, or how have I contributed for the cause of the pandemic, instead of blaming it on China or whatever as a bioweapon? If I'm a part of the whole, how have I contributed in this? And how can I now contribute? And these are really deeper questions. It's not about not stepping out. It's not about not meeting another person. It's these are very deep questions, no? That we really need to sit and reflect, isn't it?
Yes, but Geeta, our contribution starts with COVID appropriate behavior. Don't you think so? That's the
I
first step.
agree. I agree. But and what I'm saying is, can we go deeper and ask ourselves, how have I contributed in the cause of the pandemic, and how can I now how can I be a part of stopping this pandemic?
So could you please share with us your realization?
So the cause is obviously the destruction of trees, and we've not really catered to Mother Earth, right? We've just not.
Yes.
And
Yes.
if it's a bioweapon,
Mm.
there is this whole idea of being a superpower, which comes from the mind. So what has been fed in the mind for years and years and years? And when I'm saying it's not just one mind, it's a collective mind, no? So, for example, if you're talking about just one drop of water in the ocean, one drop has the entire ocean in it, na? So that droplet cannot say I'm not the ocean. I can't say I'm not part of the whole. I am. If something happens in America, for example, it has a repercussion. That's what the pandemic is teaching us. This is what I have understood.
So Geeta, you feel that it's a collective responsibility, and we've had the mindset that we can get away with anything, whether it's exploiting nature, wasting water,
Exactly.
indiscriminate cutting down of trees. So we have to sit and introspect.
So what I've been learning yoga currently. So in that, what I have understood is we are constantly changing. I am a verb. Nothing is constant. Nothing means literally nothing is constant. So if nothing is constant, then what is today is going to change tomorrow, no?
Yes.
Then why should we be stuck in this thing called COVID? Instead, can we look at the cause, and can we look at a solution, but something that's not really permanent, but something that's deeper? No wonder it's been stretched for so long. So can we really pause and think, what is it that, if you're not able to think about the cause, can we really think, how can I contribute?
I think I have been doing more of the second part. Like I mean, I do understand that in the whole larger collective, I am to be blamed, being part of the universe. And that probably just doesn't explain COVID. It also explains the cyclones and all the storms that are now coming in.
Exactly.
Uh, but I think I am actually now more into iske aage kya, and the biggest lesson I think I have learned is gratitude and helping others. When was the last time there was collective, concern for it? I don't remember.
Right.
I remember. I'm 42, but I don't remember. When everyone helped today, you send one SMS saying ICU bed chahiye or whatever, strangers are helping you, right? I mean, one doesn't feel alone anymore suddenly. I mean, one is alone, but one doesn't feel alone because people are willing to help each other. People are willing to help strangers. People are willing to check on strangers also. If you're living in a large society and somebody is COVID, you probably ask them, do you need something or whatever, which I think is and I think that is something that I'm working on, so that I can actually help like others, and others are also helping me. So this nice little feeling about being connected and help, I think is really, or like Vimal was saying, that sense of I want to now contribute to the society and do something for others.
Right.
That is probably one of COVID's most beautiful outcomes.
Yes. Yeah.
I'd like to share a very simple, the first COVID wave last year, when we went through the COVID and everything was in a lockdown, and I saw this news on TV about the migrant laborers stuck everywhere and not having them to be fed, or they don't have any rations and everything. I really felt very helpless at that point of time, that sitting at home with all the luxuries, with a fruit guy, vegetable guy, all coming to my building, sitting out there. We have very easy access to whatever simple means in life we need. But there are people out there who don't even have food to eat. So that is when I contacted my vegetable and the grain vendor, and I asked them that whether they can make packets for me and give to me and give. And they were very willing to do that. And luckily through Geeta's contacts, we got hold of some person who was willing to collect those packets from us and distribute to those people who are in need. And during this, I just put it up on my building group that I have started this process of this thing. Each kit is costing me around 300, 400 rupees for rice, grain, aloo, kanda, and all those things. There were strangers who came across and donated 5,000 to 11,000 rupees each, and told me that I want to contribute 10, I want to contribute 15, I want to contribute 20. For months, we started giving kits to this person in terms of 75 kits, 100 kits, 150 kits, because donations just kept on growing, People just had blind faith, and people just donated. By Bimal, you are doing it. We are giving you 5,000. We are giving you 7,000. We are giving you 10,000. And we just started this cycle. So how one thought process in my mind of being helpless to donating kits for the next 3 months of the lockdown really felt like a collective effort of people, and donations really helped at those point of time.
It's wonderful. And did you feel this generosity or this act of compassion has transformed something in you? For example, Nandan, Bimal, even what Nina has shared. Has it transformed something? Has it given you that joy, and has it transformed? Do you understand the meaning of transform? Has it
Transform in the
changed?
sense, I see more awareness in people now than before as to what and how a person is supposed to live, and how a person is supposed to conduct his day-to-day life every day, because everybody is stuck, everybody is not going anywhere,
Can we
majority of
just
the
focus
people.
on yourself? What have you seen getting transformed in yourself, in your own self?
There is much more awareness to do something for the society
Exactly.
Wow.
and for the environment
So what I'm trying to say is, if this pandemic in 1.5 year or 1 year, 2 months, whatever, has taught us this collective consciousness, has taught us generosity, has taught us to value health, can we keep this lamp burning instead of once everything opens up, we're back to what we were? Because this is very important. What we learn during our most challenging times. I think this is one of the most challenging times.
Absolutely.
And what we have learned through our own experience, forget about others, through our own experience, can we keep that lamp burning instead of losing that lamp when everything comes back to normal? Because that is very crucial.
That's going to be difficult to sustain. I think so.
So that,
Unless Geet, yeah, we are always maybe visiting hospitals, a municipal hospital, or where people are less fortunate than we are. Only then we'll appreciate. Otherwise, we'll go back to our own routine. That's that fear I have inside me.
so this is
No?
what I want us to remember collectively.
Yes.
Because if we
Yes.
don't, the pandemic is not over. Like it would be over outside, but
Yes.
it's really not over. It's come to teach us something, whether it's a bioweapon or not. Let's remember, this is the truth. We are all part of the big whole. You can't say I'm not part of this. This is not my department. I have not caused it. Why should I take responsibility? You cannot do that. So if we all have created it, we are responsible for it. We can't run away from that responsibility. And if each of us have learned the smallest lesson, like that's the whole talk about, right? Learn, grow, transform. Each of us have learned, right, to value health, to eat simple foods, to understand each other, to take care of each other, to live with the family, to work from home, save petrol, whatever we've learned. Can we keep this lamp of wisdom burning in some way or the other? Who's going to take responsibility of this earth?
Yeah. But Geet, it is challenging.
Let me complete, Nina. So the thing
Yeah.
is, we believe everything is permanent. Water is always available. I am never going to die. Everything is going to just stay. But it's never going to stay. Who is going to take care of all this? We can't say the government is responsible, the doctors, the police. Why can't we individually take charge, no? And actually, it's easy. It's not really difficult. Point is, we don't want to learn. In spite of this big bang of COVID, we just don't want to learn, right?
No, we learn, but we forget very fast.
Exactly. But that's not learning, no? Learning and forgetting is really not learning, no? Learning and not forgetting is actually learning, no? That's really not learning. If you're forgetting what you've learned, that's really not learning. That's some time pass learning. So can we just take a moment, close our eyes, and just can we just settle into this or anchor ourselves into this learning that we've received in some form or the other? We've all received something, a gift. Can we hold on to this gift and imbibe into ourselves and say, promise to ourselves that I'm going to stick by it. I'm going to practice this. I'm going to take forward this learning without forgetting it. This learning is super precious. This growth is super precious. This transformation that we're going to receive is super precious. Let's not lose it by forgetting it. So take a couple of deep breaths. And let's do some affirmations, which is what I have learned, what we have learned is what I'm going to give back. I'm going to practice this learning. So I grow, you grow, We all grow.
We all grow.
I learn,
I learn,
you learn,
you learn,
we all learn.
we all learn.
I transform,
I transform,
you transform, and we all transform.
We all transform.
This challenging time has come for all of us to learn and transform and grow. And let's do it. Gently open your eyes. And let me again do the prayer that we did last time, the first session. Let me share the screen. So I hope you all can see the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So this is, let me say the prayer. This prayer is about, may all of us be happy. May all of us be free from illness. May all see what is auspicious, which is actually about learning, growth, and transformation. May no one suffer. Let there be peace, which is Om, peace, peace, peace. So the prayer is Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramaya, Sarve Santu
Pushyantu
Ma Kashchit
Kashchid
Dukh Bhag Bhave. Om Shanti Shanti.
Beautiful prayer.
Yes.
Very beautiful.